All right, y'all. I am LTJ Reed. This is Throwing Light. If you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. And this is the mother freaking 100th episode of Throwing Light. We have had 100 conversations in 18 months. Not bad, right, y'all? This
That's
started last
It's
January
good.
of
that's a
2024. Now
lot.
we are in June of 2025, and we've had 100 conversations. And
Wow.
now, so first I want to go into the guests that I brought here tonight. It was admit like there are tons of people that have had great views, and I wanted to bring some of the ones that were the most views. So I looked at the 2024 year, and then I looked at what was of the 2025 year. So first, I want to introduce people for the 2025 year, which all have been on recently. So I've got Judy McCarthy here. Hey, Judy.
Hello, hello.
Then I got Mufasa Ali. How are you?
Hey, how's
Hey,
everybody?
Mufasa.
And we got Dr. Carlton.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you again.
All right. Now,
Yes.
coming from 2024, some have actually been on in 2025 as well. We have Matt Fuerst, my IML class 46 brother,
Wow.
Howdy, everyone.
the
Hi.
superhero.
Man.
That is our
Hey.
superhero, everyone. Now we've got Jeffry Wayne. How are you, Jeffrey?
Howdy. Plugging along.
I love the
Hi,
earring.
Jeffrey.
Good to see you.
Will you just like do that for a second and make it like
Oh,
okay? And then finally, my leather cousin, Todd. I mean, I can't. I don't feel. I feel like it's appropriate to say cousins more than because I mean we're like near each other, but we're not like in the same area exactly.
So close yet so far.
So far away. All right, y'all. Well, I want to thank everyone for being on here. First, as you can see, I've been for a while now having this throwing like t-shirt, and coming soon, right, relatively in a few weeks. T-shirts are going to be available to people, but everyone on the
I
show
want
right
one.
now, I've got their t-shirt size. I just need to get their addresses after this, are going to get their own throwing like t-shirt. You're gonna snap
Yay.
pics in it for me when you get it, and then this is the start of a new era, y'all. We're spreading light, just like that. That sounds
Now I
fun.
have to learn to say it right.
I've messed it up every single time.
Y'all should already know what happens at the end at this point. I shouldn't even have to say anything. You should be able to close this show. Everyone's been on here more than once. Okay. Well, now twice. Actually, the first, the 2025, y'all are two timers. So very good. Matt, is this two or three?
No, this will be my second one. So
That's your two timer. Jeffrey's a two timer, and Ty is a four
Ooh.
timer. That could or could not be a question tonight. All right, so for our little game show, but we'll get to that later. So y'all, okay, so throwing lights has been really a great experience of trying to validate a lot of people's experiences in our community. And, there hasn't really been a method or to like how I brought people on. A lot of it's just like who I feel are in the moment or people I know that have done things that are important. And I just kind of keep up with, this is a leather powered platform, the leather community, a lot of my guests are of that. And that this platform is built by that energy. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But as you can see, I'm branching out, trying to bring people from the mainstream gay community and people doing arts and things and trying to find ways just to have various conversations and show people we can go from talking about sex to food to music to protesting. We can have all these conversations and it doesn't have to feel weird. We can transition from
Okay.
whatever to whatever. Um,
Hmm?
I know one thing I do want help on, and something I would love for anyone that's here right now or watches whoever. I came up with like this idea for like a trans first panel where like we let trans people go first. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I kind of want to have a discussion about that. So if you guys can help me with that, that would be amazing. I'm not trying to change the letter order or anything like that. I'm not trying to put like TLGBJ G. But what I mean is, I have been in the presence of a lot of people, especially in the political realm. And I don't think that our lives are about politics. It's about humanity, and we shouldn't be politicized. So it's very interesting that something I want to try to gather. We got that heart on the leather flag. That how I'm bringing issues here is about just human right. Like, who here on this panel was asked to be born? No one asked.
Nobody.
So
Yeah.
you make me understand why you're being punished for how you're born. Does that make sense?
Right.
It doesn't. The thing, throwing light is about, let's have these light bulb moments. Let's think about it. No one ever comes back to think and say, you know what? Humans are flawed. Humans made up how we think. Why would we be so trustworthy of someone that's a religious person and says that God's speaking to him? Why are there people like this that are so easily swayed and never think that, you know what, this is another human being telling me something and there might be something wrong with their psyche? You know what I'm saying? That type of thought process.
But religion was designed to control human beings.
And
it's a control technique.
But people are in it without thinking the framework of it,
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. Why do people easily go into these frameworks and not question the framework?
Right.
Exactly. And I am asking our community to reinvent the wheel. We have to, because the wheel is broken. And even if we try to bandage it back together, it's going to break again. It's not sturdy. And so I want us to really think about not being scared to rework our framework. And that goes into where trans people fit into our community. It shouldn't be about fitting in. It should be about respecting them. It should be, how do we work on making sure that we have more women in positions of power or in places in our community? I look at the statistics of this and I was shocked that, this is 70%, men identifying people watching Throwing Light. To me, I'm like, oh shit, I've got to make up for that. You know what I'm saying? That's in my mind. But just like on this panel right now, I've got Judy, but it took a little work to get this panel together. So this had nothing to do with trying to figure out representation. Just you were the cream of the crop. I brought you on here. But again, going back to that,
we also need to protect the most vulnerable of us. And right now, our trans people are under attack. And I have a lot of kids that I really care about who have transitioned. But I have this sense. I come from a people we don't have two genders. We don't identify that way. So I have I say trans because that's what we do to recognize our most vulnerable right now. But they really are who they are. If they're male and they're born into a feminine body, but they need to match that, then they're male. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
Well,
it's
I had a friend tell me that in Louisiana, they're what they're trying to say is that being trans is a mental disorder, which they said being gay.
Oh yeah, well they always said gay was a mental disorder. I had an aunt that spent her life in an insane asylum because she was gay.
Yeah. So you got a lot of people still that want to add. It's weird. It's weird when, especially when minorities that are discriminated against justify others being discriminated against.
Right.
It's just the weirdest. It's a weird thing because they don't see that. I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They don't see how they think, really. They just say things.
Right.
Especially on social media now, which it's trash, I was just driving back home, and I'm like, well, no one's having a conversation on this. We're expressing things, but like everyone that's on social media has their mind made up, and they're like trying to double down on everything, and it's just no collaboration, communication. I think that's what's important too for us to set examples. That I'll give you in a second, Max. And so I think that this is be the change you want to see. Like,
exactly.
Why would it? What's wrong with trying unity? What's wrong with trying it? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking everyone, why don't we just try? Let's, for real, going back to this is about moving away from throwing shade. Like I get that the humor and all of it, but like, real quick, like, I don't like that culture because what we're creating is villains. And I am, and I've these are things that first the world has so many villains, y'all, and we don't need to be cultivating this spirit of oh, let's have a game of being kicking someone when they're down, or if someone's not being represented, pointing that out. Like, we have people within our community that are problematic, that have done racist things or chauvinistic things. We've had those experiences. So, what I want to, what kind of came to me, and I had been working on this, and I wanted it to be a part of what was going to be going for the Thornlight platform, was the word together. And then, it just kind of molded in my head, like, because, the LGB, and Judy, we've talked about this, the LGB without the T thing is a gut-wrenching soul punch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Mufasa, Judy, like, you've seen the horrors, you've seen you've seen death, lots of it, I'm sure, but you've seen people fight, and
I've been in a few fights myself. Here and there.
I know, that's why that's why I'm close to you, because I imagine that if somebody messes with me, you'll beat them up. So I'm like, I know you got me. I'll just hide behind you.
But we have to protect our own too. So sometimes the fight has to be more than words. And it's so weird that I just am answering. I'm talking about the unification that was hoped would happen for us with the flag, with the Leather Pride flag, and how beautiful Tony would see all of the flags we have now that represent the various aspects of our community. And that when we display flags now at an event, we display all of our colors. And and respect that, which is something that when that was first, I was there when the idea of a Leather Pride flag was first mentioned. And the point was never to make the colors mean anything. Let it mean what the person looking at it felt that it meant. But the heart, the shape had to be there. Now, I just realized that IML, the flags, that was one of the most heart-inspiring moments that I've had in years. And then also seeing the flags that represent the variety. It's not even, it's the facets, the numbers that we represent. Each one of those flags represented a large group of our community. And that's a unifying factor. The t-shirts, it's a unifying factor. It's something that we do that draws us together. I love going somewhere and seeing somebody else wearing the same t-shirt I've got on, it's warming. it feels good. Anyhow,
Yeah.
Oh,
I think and kind of drawing on that, I think that one of the big messages at IML really hit home to me was the fact that there are so many different stories out there, but they all have their own unique meaning and their own value.
yeah, yeah,
And even marching yesterday in the No Kings March,
yes,
there were all kinds of different people there to protest in all different kinds of ways. And a lot of those people didn't necessarily get along or see each other's viewpoints. But the one unifying theme was we all hated Donald Trump and what he stands for. And I think finding
absolutely.
that realizing that we're all different, we have different things in our backgrounds that might not allow us to agree with each other on everything, but the central unifying theme is we must stand together and unite, or else they're going to take us all down. It's like
That's true.
Renee said in a speech, make them choke on it.
Yes, yes.
Jeffrey, what do you think about that? Like, what is your, what do you think is a vision of moving forward, or, working together that seems cohesive?
Wow, that is a massive question. You know,
we're doing mental work on this show tonight.
oh no. I mean, one of my questions at IML from one of my judges was basically, how do you fix all the world's problems? And I was like, do I?
You had 8 minutes. Good Lord.
How much
I
time?
wouldn't even want to try.
Here's my 50 slide PowerPoint on how I'm going to fix all the world's problems. No, I think at its heart, we need to start acknowledging that most of us are in the right place. Most of us think in the same way. And so a lot of us want to see a better future for our community. And I think that especially for some members of our community, it feels like the default is that everybody who's a title holder is only in it for themselves and not invested in the greater good of the community. And I can see from a very cynical point of view that that's where that can come from. But I think that if we start really exploring our own motivations and stop trying to explore the motivations of others, we would start moving in a better direction. Um, I there were quite a few stories my year of people whose title holders in their local communities weren't supported because of whatever local community nonsense was currently happening. Um, and it really kind of negatively impacted a lot of us in the work that
Yeah,
we were trying to do. And so I think putting aside the pettiness that happens a lot in our community,
please. Yes.
and really focusing on the motivations and the goals of the community, or the individuals within the community, is a much better tactic for a way forward.
Yeah.
Ty, what are your thoughts? What would you like to add?
Two things are coming to mind. One is similar to what Jeffrey was saying, that slightly different, but I think we don't all think the same sometimes. I think we all have a unique way of engaging in the community, of showing up as our authentic selves. There's no one right way of being a title holder. There's no one right way of running for a contest. There's no one right way of being a leather for a person. But that's the thing that is so beautiful about us. But we don't celebrate that. We talk about celebrating diversity, but we don't actually practice that. In fact, we try and make people conform to our way of being a leather person or running for a title. How many times does someone run for a title say, you need to do these things? You should show up in all of these ways. We should all over people. But we need to check ourselves when we're
Right.
showing up in mentoring, when we're showing up as in any way capacity, to not to should on someone else, but to rather lift them up in what feels right for you. What is your way to do this? And really empower people to pave their own path. The other piece that I'm thinking about is our struggle with kind of cancel culture that happens within our community. When someone fucks up, we're going to fuck up. One of the most powerful things that I ever heard Goddess say was what the promise she made to Syl when they first engaged in their MS relationship was, "I'm going to fuck up." and I'm committed to doing the repair to earn back to earn back your trust. Right. That's
Right.
the only promise she made to Syl. Right. And I think that that is so beautiful on an individual level, on the micro, but also so powerful on the macro of how we show up in the community. None of us are perfect. We're gonna
Right.
fuck up. We're human first and foremost. The title is second or third or 20th down the road of who I am as an individual. And so I think we need to give a lot more grace in the community. That what we're going to make mistakes, but we are here to try and do better. We're trying to better ourselves as individuals, but also better the community. But we really suck at this. We don't offer a lot of grace for people to make mistakes and to do the repair to earn
Yeah.
back the trust. So those are
Yeah.
the two things that I was just thinking about.
My question to what you're saying, Ty, though, so are people afraid to fuck up? Or people like, because I've gone through this whole like whole holding myself back conversation. You know what I'm saying? Can the fear of fucking up prevent, people from getting involved? Or, why
Absolutely.
why do we create that
Mm.
fear? And that's just very interesting, and you bring a lot of, you're very right in terms of, people making mistakes. But what's so weird, Ty, is that a lot of people that are pointing these out are flawed and making mistakes themselves. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like we want to find somebody that we can defer, I guess, our insecurities onto or whatever. Matt, so look, you just created a non-binary title, correct?
Yeah, like a gender neutral title. That's correct, which would include
Okay.
non-binary.
So how has been the reception in terms of doing this? And gender is something we brought up earlier. In terms of unifying the community, how was the reception of that?
Yeah, and I think it ties in with your question on like community and what does the community need. And I think to kind of bring it back to that question, and I'll tie it in with your actual question, is just I think each community is different. I think there's like the macro community and there's the micro community for your own little city, right? So
Mhm.
what Cleveland needs is very different than what Texas needs, which is very different than what California needs and the various cities that all exist in these various states and countries. And so for Cleveland, we have a lot of titles in Cleveland, but we did not have any like gender neutral title. And we don't have many titles for women in general. It's a damn shame. So me and my business partner Andy Curtis, we started Leather and Kink company, and we're producing our Cleveland Person of Year contest that'll be happening September 20th. And the reception's good, but then we're also trying to stand by the promotional materials. We're having people of color being promoted in the promotional materials. We're having bigger bodied individuals being promoted in the promotional materials. We're having Latin, Black, Asian descent people being promoted in the promotional materials. Furries, right? Because Person of Gear, there's a lot of different types of gear, whether it's sports gear, leather, rubber. We had no rubber title in Cleveland. So here is another chance for people to get a title that fits for them and what they want exactly. So I guess to bring it back, I mean, the reception has been good. People are excited for it. I'm very excited for it, and I'm excited to give choice to the people of Cleveland, and that's what they deserve, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
Mufasa, of like, what are some of the realistic challenges you think we still have to kind of, I had the honor of sitting on that panel, and I just want to ask you straight out, like, have you ever heard someone tell a story like I told on your panel before? In terms of being on the other side of the tracks, because I didn't grow up in like I grew up in a white area, you know what I'm saying? You usually don't hear that story, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that that's kind of a conversation we're not having?
Well, I think that the conversation of we're having it. It's just depends where we're having it. That we hear the stories not being black enough, not being leather enough, not being gay enough, not being enough. And the message has to be that you are enough because
He's
you are
quiet.
your own person. And so we have to move that mantra forward in order to get to together because and that is nothing new within the Black community. There was brown paper bag tests to get into the historically Black
Did we
college
talk about that? Did we
at
talk
one
about
time. At one time, um, there there are coloration issues within the Black community. You're too Black, you're too light, you don't, and so we have those issues. Those issues are not uncommon within general community or general society. So yes, they're going to transfer into leather. You're not leather enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough to belong. And so we have to tackle those things and we have to welcome people in. We can't be gatekeepers, to the point where we kill off the young. And many leather clubs have gone that route, that they don't want anyone else in. It's their club, it's their way, or the highway, and then they just die out. So what does that do for community? What does
Yeah.
that do for the community work that they were doing? Does that not stand for anything other than the people who were there first? And that has been an issue in many organizations. I mean, within Onyx, we have members who are 21 to 85. And so the door is always open so that people can come in. And we know that people are going to go. People are going to stay. Some people are going to stay a long time. Some people are not going to stay a long time. It's a membership organization. But the thing is that we have to keep cultivating new ideas, new energy, new people, and they all look different. They all look different. And even on the IML stage, I was so happy in judging this year. I was so happy to see the variety of people.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
pups, there were bears, there were critters, there were there
Elder.
were, there were people in heels, there were with fem energy, there were people who stood up for themselves in that energy. And their communities, elected them to be that. Now, whether the general community supports that or not, as long as they have themselves and move forward in how they present themselves, I think that we've made great strides because we have given them the inner strength, and the self-esteem to stand in who they are in you know in in the community. I mean, when we have members of Onyx come in, we don't require anything of them except for a pair of black boots and a vest,
Yeah.
because the rest is up to them, whether they ever wear leather, or whether they ever wear, maybe they're into gear, maybe they're into Levi's. We don't know what their persona is, but we know that they're dedicated to the mission of the brotherhood. And that's the togetherness. Whether we are Latin, whether we're Asian, whether we, come in as you identify as a person of color, um, or indigenous, what is the essence of the mission, the empowerment of the people, we are a bridge to the general community so that we have our own issues, but we then bridge those into the general community so that we can be of help. And so, together we are all who we are, but the mission of togetherness for the LGBTQI plus community has to be, to guard our existence. Somebody's going to be on the people of color, doing the people of color work. Somebody's going to be doing the women's work. Somebody's going to be doing the lesbian work. Somebody's going to be doing the trans work. But the overall togetherness comes in that we are all seeking justice for us as a community. And each of us has our own work to do within that community.
I
Well
agree.
said, sir. Well said.
So this is what we're going to do. I want to ask you massively hard questions, but we're going to kind of get to that later. All right. So together, and Mufasa, you said this a lot. So that's kind of what I wanted this overall conversation to be about, because I was like, you know what? Because I want to promote togetherness now, I am going to do a Throwing Like tour. And the tour is called Together. And so I decided I would start in Texas because I truly believe that Texas can be one of the most politically mean states. And I love the idea of like this progressive energy coming out of this state and helping people in this time. So starting in September, December, I'm going to go to all the major cities. And I will be having, just like we're doing these panels, in live panels where people can come in. I'll be putting title holders on there, staff members, community members. We're all going to sit and have essentially town halls for the first time. So I will be doing this, and depending on how things go, hopefully this is something that catches on. But we literally come together as a community, have conversations of togetherness within our community in the physical spaces, and we can talk about how to continue to make these spaces safe for everyone. Okay, so and when I do this tour, I want to show you guys, and I was showing this to them earlier. I have created a little sticker. Well, I didn't create it, my friend Frank Sims did. That I am going to be, bringing with me to give to everyone. Can y'all see this sticker?
Yeah.
You see it?
It's a good one.
Yep, we can see it.
So, the idea of it essentially is just trying to include everybody as much as you can. There's no really other hidden meanings except for unity. You know what I'm saying? So I will be passing these stickers out and bringing them with me when we do the tour and giving them to everybody. As I was telling them, I think sometimes we need a physical thing to remind us of what we need to be doing, because we go about our lives and we know things are not feeling right and we want to unify and we don't see how to do it. And just by simply having this sticker, it's a reminder, like, you're not alone and we're better together. So now let's go to the game. I think this would be a great time. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is how this is going to go. Okay. So I've got 10 questions here. The only way I really think this is going to work is, so there are multiple questions, A, B, C, D. When I say the question, I need you to use 1 for A, 2 for B, 3 for C, and 4 for D, okay? And then I can just kind of determine who's got what right. Whoever wins this...
Oh, that means we have to have a keyboard?
No, you can just use your hands. Just show.
Oh, I can. I can do it.
So 1 is A, 2 is B, C is 3, and D is 4. Now, I'm not expecting anyone to know any of these. That's why I made sure it's not super hard. There are multiple questions here. Just guess. It's a game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
We're ready, Lou.
First question.
Sure.
Yep.
As ready as we'll ever
ready
be.
as I'm going to get.
Go. All right. What was the original name of Throwing Light? Are you ready? Is it A, Sir Rat Uncut? B, It's Always Been Throwing Light? C, Throwing Shade? Or D, none of these?
I would say B, because
Always Throwing Light? Is everyone going with that? What do you have, Carlton?
I've only
I got
heard
B.
We're all wrong. It was Sir Rat Uncut. So here's a little
wow.
Why am I not
I
surprised?
never saw it.
Yes. So this started
Not
as
Sir
an
Rat
in-person social meet group. This originally. And Sir Rat let me host it for the first time. This was how it birthed at the Sir Rat store in Austin. And that was like just as I had just I think competed for Mr. Texas. So it was super early in it. And then I can't tell you what happens after that because some of the questions are for what happened next. So everyone got 0 points.
Wow.
We're all in this together.
We are
together.
We are
together.
bound together.
Okay. So, all right. Throwing Light, I hope you're listening, began as a in-person support group, B, podcast, C, town hall, or D, none of these.
I didn't hear it.
Throwing Light began as a in-person support group, B, a podcast, C, a town hall, or D, none of these. 3. Let's see here.
C.
Say
yes.
C.
C.
Did anyone say A? The correct answer is A, in-person support group.
We're
Sir
still
Rat-
together.
It was a social group.
Together.
You
We're
just
still
said it was a
together.
social group.
Well, we're getting a history lesson here, you guys.
Same thing.
Yes.
Getting a
We're still
history
together.
lesson.
So this is a little history. It's just a little history. It's
This
nothing.
is a history lesson for sure.
I'm expecting like the winner to have like 3 points, so don't worry. Like that's
Well, so far,
this is just a little fun
we're
history.
back
Okay,
now, 0 here.
let's see here. Okay, here's another one. Okay, this is a good one. Throwing Light originally partnered with this local organization. Okay, that's in Austin. Is it A, Austin Pride, B, Ashwell Sexual Health and Wellness? What's this other one? C, Austin Gears, or D, none of these? If you're on an episode,
I say C.
If you're on an episode in 2024, you should know this. Like, what you got,
C.
Judy?
I don't know.
Judy? What do you got? Guess, Judy. Give me a number.
I said C.
C.
3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
We've got Matt with a point. Woo! We've got.
There's the winner.
Jeffrey with the point.
Oh my
and Mufasa with the point. Asheville Sexual Health and Wellness. Congratulations. We've got people on the scoreboard now. We've got Matt, Jeffrey, Mufasa, and Carlton tied with 1 point. All right.
No longer together. Okay.
Okay. Listen to this. All of these have been topics on Throwing Light except Asian visibility, A. B, drag is not a crime. C, Australian pride. Or D, conversion therapy.
D.
D.
Oh no.
4.
Same one.
What you got, Judy?
Nope.
All right, everyone gets a point but Matt. Woo! It is 4. Conversion therapy has not yet been discussed as a topic on Throwing.
That'll be the 5th time I come on. Let's go.
Oh my God, I don't go down without any points. Thank God.
So we've got something going on here. Hold on, let me see here. Some people got 2. Let's see who's got 2 here. All right, so yeah, all right. Okay, next one. Okay, all these topics have been addressed on Throwing Light except A, IML, B, sexuality, C, polygamy, or D, discrimination.
I think I got that.
Congratulations, everyone got a point. It is polygamy.
Yay.
Congrats. See, now y'all are working. See?
We're on a roll, you guys. We're on a roll.
Together.
Okay, so here is question. This is now question 6. Who has been on Throwing Light the most times? Is it A, Leatherman? Is it B, Austin Abernathy?
Oh.
C, Velvet Steel? Or D, A and B?
Say those names again.
Yeah.
Who has been on Throwing Light the most? A, Dr. Ty Leatherman. Oh, he's here. I didn't know that.
Okay.
And then we have.
You didn't know that.
And then we have B, Austin Abernathy. We have C, Velvet Steel. Or D, both A and B.
It's a trick question, LTJ.
So answer.
E.
Did you
LTJ.
say both? Did you?
Carlton, what you got?
Well, who was the second one?
Austin Abernathy.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
Okay.
It is either.
Everyone. Carlton, what you got?
You will next year.
Okay, you're all wrong. It was no, Matt got it. It is both A and D. Austin and Ty have both been on Throwing Light 4 times. They are in the 4-timer club. They're the only 2 in the 4-timer club. So, Matt, you have taken lead. No, you haven't. No, actually, no. There is a 4-way tie right now. So that's
Can we get a tally master, please?
For real. I try
Where are the tally masters when you need them?
I'm asking Omar to come tally for me.
Thank you.
Okay. Which of these people have never been, which of these people have been on Throwing Light? A, Laurel Lee. B, Dr. V. C, Stormy Owsley. D, all of them.
I don't know who any of them are.
I don't either, but I'm going to say whatever.
I'm going to say all of them.
Everyone said 4. You all get a point.
Yeah.
Yay.
Together.
Together. There we go.
Yeah, we're connected
Well,
now.
we're on like question 8 now. I'm concerned I might have to give a prize to everyone.
See?
Together.
All right, here we go. All right.
We've got the mantra.
Here's a nice one. Okay. How many throwing lights were about IML class 46? Was it A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 4? Everyone's wrong. It is 3. All right, we are at question 9, and we still have a 5-way tie. So I'll figure out if it pans out that way. I think I have a solution. So here we go. Where's the next one? All right. Throwing Light has touched all these continents except A, Australia, B, Europe, C, North America, or D, Asia. We have not made it to Asia yet, y'all, but I know that there was a Philippines contestant this year, so don't worry.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to find you.
David.
All right. Congrats. Yeah. We are still tied. And here we go. Okay. Which of these has been a Throwing Light special? A, Austin Kink Weekend. B, Election 2024. C, International Mr. Leather. Or D, all of them. Here, everybody but Matt gets a point. So that's a 4-way tie.
Yay, a 4-way tie.
We've got Carlton, Jeffry, Ty, and Mufasa. So what I'm going to just offer everyone but who I'm going to have to use a little bit of statistics to pick this winner, because it's a 4-way tie. So everyone that's another 30-minute interview whenever you want to use it. You must redeem it. You must redeem it before December 31st, 2025.
Coming from my record.
But redeem your interview when you're ready to use. So now you're going to be back on the show. You know it's coming. And I want to check up on it. You better take advantage of it, because it's going to be about whatever you want. Okay, the winner is getting an hour special hosted by themselves. I will not be hosting it. You will now be able to say that you hosted Throwing Lights. You can do whatever you want for this hour special. It can be whatever. You get to use it. We'll plan it, making it an event, and you have the keys to the show.
Our prize is doing your job for you.
Pretty much. I was hoping you didn't catch on to that.
It's work? The prizes work?
Right?
But no, what I want is I want this platform. This is not just about me, y'all. And I do hope in the future that this can be something that anyone can take a hold over, okay? And I'm trying to demonstrate that I do want to pass this gift on. And so I also want to respect those who are helping me do the work. I want you guys to continue being on the show and bringing these conversations, because you make it stronger. That's why you're here. So please, I'm asking you, keep making this stronger, and let's keep doing the work. With that being said, Dr. Carlton Thomas, you had the most views. You were number 1 in terms of most watched, and you obviously have a big social media presence. But it was, we had a multi-cross and lots of things.
Yeah.
But that's amazing, and I appreciate you for being and doing it. I said I already want you to have it, so I would love to make a special with you that we can have you do and we educate the community. So I want this just to be completely however you want to do it and frame it. I just want to give you know, when you came onto your show, you are having conversations from a health standpoint that are about facts and information. And in a culture right now where people don't want to accept facts, I think we need to double down on things like sexual health. And these are tangible conversations that we need to have. And I think I want people to see sexual responsibility, and I see you bringing that to the community, Carlton. And I think especially
Thank
now,
you.
I would love to continue for us to be seen as humans and not predators. So
Thank you.
everyone, Dr. Ty, Judy, Jeffrey, Matt, Mufasa, like, you know, everyone that is on here right now, I completely trust. You know, Judy, Mufasa, I'm going to be reaching out to you for guidance all the time. You know, Jeffrey, make sure I keep things lighthearted. Matt, make sure I remember to love myself. Carlton, make sure I'm being cool and with style. And Ty, make sure I'm being likable. Just make sure I'm a likable person, Ty. That's all I want.
We got work to do.
So, with that being said, you all have a piece of this, and thank you for helping me get to 100 episodes in your own unique way. For everyone that's watching the show that's been a part of this, I will always honor anyone that wants to work with me and do this. And I just wanted to take this time just to show a little appreciation, have some fun, and remember at the end of the day, you know, there is hard work to be done. And when you're together and you're having a good time, it makes that hard work feel like it's worth it. And here we are. We're all, if you're watching, if you're not of our community, we're under attack. We're under threat right now. And I mean, we can't be down and depressed in the gutters. We don't have that option. So why not throw light, right, y'all? I mean, we got to. This is how I say it. I'm not going down with the Titanic. You better believe I'm about to build a raft. We're going to have to weave dead bodies together. We're getting home. So I'm not going down. My mom said never follow anyone off a cliff. And I say you don't have to follow, even if the world is going off a cliff, you don't have to follow it. And that's how the mentality I have. Like, I'm not, you know, a lot of people don't get to self-actualization, y'all. And I think this brainwashing is a great example of that. These people will never know what life is because they're brainwashed.
We also need to remember to use our humor.
Yeah.
It helps
laughing.
So
laughing
this is the hard question.
Your
this is the hard question, okay?
To deal.
So I wanted to ask this. This is the question that's been burning. This is a hard question. It's not an easy question. But I get sick of just kind of, I don't want to say it's pessimism, but of giving in. I have reached out and to many people and originally the whole sticker was about to try to stop infighting. I have talked to mentors and several of them. And when I'm like, you know what, I want to stop infighting. Oh, well, good luck. Like so it's just kind of like, that's it. It's not going to happen. Good luck. And I want to have this conversation right now. And I want to know, why is it impossible for us to stop infighting in the community? Why do we have to resign to that fact? Why do we have to accept that? That's my question to you all right now for us to discuss. Anyone may go.
I would say.
Go ahead, Judy.
Go ahead.
Everyone at once. Together.
Together. Yes.
Here we go.
Judy, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Oh,
please.
Oh, we're gonna pull that old lady first, right? Okay.
Seasoned.
I am. Yeah, I like garlic and
beauty before age.
What is it? 4 days, you guys. I'm 80.
Oh,
wow. That's great.
4 days.
Happy birthday.
Happy almost birthday.
That's amazing.
Happy
Oh my God, I made it this far. I intend to make it as far as I can.
Still can run for president.
I think I'm gonna I'm kind of being sucked into some stuff right now. it's funny, I've not been out and about like I used to be. And there's some stuff going on in a couple of the communities where so and so is doing this and so and so, and so there's this happening and it's hurting the community. I know the people on both sides. And I just want to tell them to stop it. Just stop this. Look what you're doing to the people around you. You're hurting everything that you've helped try to build. And you're going to destroy it if this continues. You have to stop it. Now, how do we do that? I swear, I don't know. I've been in this community now, how many years? Oh my God. Well, I came out in 1959, so that's been a long time. And it's the little things that create the biggest problems. And trying to get someone to see how injurious they're being is difficult. But if we can get them to see what they're doing is harming everyone, maybe we can get that redirected. Again, I really believe a good sense of humor, and I also am really good at saying that's bullshit. They're trying to get me not to cuss so much, so I'm not sure.
Fuck that.
I'm not sure not to care. I'm sorry not to care. I'm like, there are bigger things in the world than a word.
Yeah,
word.
yeah, that's. But and I think we need to call it like it is. I think if there is, we had community meetings. We used to have. There was an issue a couple of times way back in the day, and these were two women's groups, and we had to get them together and say, okay, we had to have. I'm losing words. You know, the nouns and numbers thing. I'm going through that. We needed a mediator. And not a moderator, a mediator. So we had a couple of people that were highly respected come in because I was chair of one of the organizations. I was not the right person to mediate. And the person who was the leader of the other organization, and these weren't us that were doing it, it was some of our membership. So we had to get them together. And we had to have an outside person come in and hear the stories and make a decision. The decision isn't what was it to open the discussion and to keep it open until it was resolved. Or the other option was, if you're going to continue to do this, then we will shut down these organizations and begin over here again, and you won't be part of them because it's always one or two people. It's invariably, I shouldn't say always, that's a little bit too broad, but it's invariably one or two people going at each other that creates a situation that affects everybody. So getting someone who can, like I said, we went kind of far on that because we said, if you can't stop this is what you're doing. We're shutting these two down and beginning again over here, but you're not invited to be part of it. And ostracism can work. It hurts, but it can work because if we don't do that, it can hurt even more than just the involved people.
Who like that?
Now,
I posted on I think it was April Fool's Day. I made a post, I don't know if anyone saw it, that there will be no more drama in the leather community.
wish.
I think I saw that.
Exactly. We are a diverse community, and I know that I know there's the LA community is going through a number of different issues at the moment, And
Oh my
that
God.
has caused our chapter there to step back because they weren't being heard. But not only them, but other people were not being heard. And what
Yeah.
they did was they just stepped back and concentrated on their own mission.
Yeah.
And also, there are new contests in the LA community highlighting the Latinx community. And that was seen deemed necessary because they weren't being heard in the general community or the organization that supposedly supports the whole community, which is
Right.
not supporting the whole
I've
community.
been reading some of that
Exactly.
recently.
So, in those instances, I think that there's always going to be drama. It's a community of
And we
diverse
are
people.
drama queens.
We are drama queens, yes. And there
And we
are
care. We really
there,
do care. I think that that's why we're
Yes,
so
it's true.
passionate and why
yeah,
we get so riled up is because we fucking care about the
It's
community.
true.
yeah.
It's
And
true.
the thing is that,
Yeah.
if it doesn't serve you, and that part of the community doesn't serve you, it's time to step over and start a new vein. Whether that is supported or
Yes,
not, you'll see if the support is there. If
it's true.
not, I mean, Miss Black America would never have come about if Miss America had admitted Black individuals who were beautiful.
Yes.
But then we have this Miss Black
Who
America.
would have even seen the beauty?
Right, have seen the beauty. And so that's kind of like it is in other areas of the
Right.
community. There was a furor when colored leather came into the community in the early 2000s. I mean, it's a
I
garment. I mean, black leather had been there forever, and now there's a blue shirt, and now there's a red shirt, and now there's
um
people lost their minds
it came in the
in the
early
like
90s.
yeah, like
I
late 90s.
introduced colored leather at
Yeah,
Mr. S in
right.
the 90s.
And so it's like, really, is that the
Right.
most important thing that you can you can argue about and you're divided about?
Mhm.
There was an issue about coverings here at Self. But someone who wasn't even here posted something about what was something they saw that was posted that happened here about a covering. And now there's a condrama on Facebook about coverings and about who can do it and why was this done. And they're not really covered because they weren't covered by the right person. And it's like, really? You
Mufasa,
weren't
you
even
and I have been
here.
around about the same amount of time.
Yeah,
Remember
they're not
when
even that family. I mean, come on.
remember when you could go to Canada and buy a nice muir and wear it and that was perfectly legitimate?
I bought my own first meerkat
Hell yes.
because
Mine was given to me by Mac McKinnon, but there was no ceremony. It's,
right,
hey,
and
here,
I didn't have
there you go.
mentors
Yeah,
that would
this
do
whole
that.
covering thing. I was
But
asking.
my presentation is that. And so, I've since received one from community,
Yeah,
but come on, let's, I
it's
don't
a
have time for
nice
that.
ceremony. It
Yeah.
is.
But
It's a nice ceremony for recognizing somebody that
Yeah, I don't
you
have time
respect.
for that type of
But
madness. So I step aside, leave it
it ain't the
alone,
old
and
way if you want to talk
continue
about it.
on.
It's
well, let
not
me
our
tell you
old
that.
way.
It's not
Let me
old
say
guard,
this real
no,
quick.
or
No, I've
tradition.
never
Definitely.
been.
Yeah.
Let me
And
let me
that
say,
was the other thing. Old guard, new guard just got me good. I said,
my
what the
thing
hell is old
that
guard? I don't know.
I've never been gifted a meerkat, and I just want to say this real quick. Is at first, when like look for me, for someone that you spends as much time in the community doing something, I
Right.
don't say it hurts a little bit to see people get gifted things for doing things, and you're told you're supposed to get sure that I was told I was supposed to be gifted my first meerkat. I bought my own, but I was told that, and I believed that I had to have someone give me one, and so like that can psychologically get to people in the community if they
Right.
think that's how it should be done. I'm sorry, I just want to say that.
But we like to create ceremony. And then once we've created this ceremony, we make it, this is the way it needs to be done. And this whole old guard, new guard stuff, I had a bad motorcycle accident. I was kind of out of the loop for about 3 years. And then I came back to San Francisco for something, and they were talking about old guard, new guard. I said, what the hell is that? What are you talking about? So they explained to me, they looked at me and they said, well, you're old guard. What the hell is old guard? What does that mean? Where did that come from? It's like we all had the same ceremonies and protocols. No, we didn't. It related to a club sometimes. It just, we create these, I don't know where they come from. I don't. Sometimes I think some of our ceremonies are really good. Some of the covering I've heard about, I think is beautiful. But it's not necessary to own your cap. You don't have to have, in my mind anyhow, but the covering is respecting and honoring someone that you feel this is a way to do it. But I'll tell you, I'll go buy my mule in Canada again next time I need one. So I'll shut up now because I tend to talk too much anyhow.
I got my first mirror cap. I found it walking through Ringgold Alley after a big muscle party. And I put it on and it fit. And I was like, this is mine now.
That was supposed to be
yours. But and it's I'm getting packed for Dallas this weekend. I just happen to have it here.
Oh my God, you're going to Dallas? I didn't know that.
I'm tallying, so I'm excited.
I just found out I was going yesterday.
Tell my brother Jim Richards,
I'll see you there.
I love him.
Looking forward to it. But going back to your question a few minutes ago, I think one of the biggest weaknesses of our community is also the source of our greatest strength, and it's pride.
Right.
Yes. We're a very proud people, and
yes, we are.
There are a lot of us that really need Cher to smack them and tell them to snap out of it. There are a lot of people in this community that have not been smacked enough, and I think that's when we're in our feelings and we're hurting because of something that someone else in the community has done to us,
right.
Or when we have done something wrong and we have made a mistake and we're having a hard time admitting it and acknowledging that's pride. And, I will tell you that I am probably the person in the community that has made the most mistakes in my time. And it never gets easier to admit that you've made a mistake or you've done something wrong or you've said something stupid. Right. But, it's a skill that we as a community need to cultivate more, which is learning to admit that we're wrong and saying it and accepting that responsibility.
Carlton, what do you think?
I think when you have an alphabet full of people, you're going to have a lot of different viewpoints. I mean, you've got queer viewpoints, you've got lesbian viewpoints, you've got gay viewpoints, trans, intersex, asexual points of view. I think what we all have to do, like I said earlier, is focus on the main goal in a situation. There's a lot of ways to get it, means to get to an end. But I think that I think putting aside differences as much as we can to focus on those big goals is what we need to do to be able to really survive. Otherwise, there's a lot of infighting, like you said already, a lot of pride in the community. I think as long as we really uphold the framework of the the important stuff, like the big stuff, like this past weekend, or this weekend, the goal was to get out and demonstrate and protest, even though we were all yelling 50 different things. It was the same thing, and I think that's where we have to come in and realize there are going to be a lot of different points of view. We're not gonna agree with everybody, and that's what we have to focus on.
Yeah.
I think it kind of ties back into what I mentioned earlier, is the struggle of like giving some grace that we're going to make mistakes. So that doesn't make us a bad person or a bad leather person. It just means that we made a mistake and that we can do better. I think that that's where we struggle a little bit, is that some people double down rather than admitting that they made a mistake. And it just makes things, and that's pride. I think the other piece is projecting our values onto other people, right? Rather than just holding space for us all to thrive in our own unique ways, because there is enough space for us all to thrive in our own unique ways. We project that you need to follow my way. And that is obviously problematic.
Yeah, Matt, wrap us up.
Yeah, I guess for me, I mean, I understand your question in terms of like as it relates to like the drama, but every single day that I'm like in this community, I am just like blown away by the amount of good works that is just done by all the people. I mean,
Absolutely.
let alone the people on this call, which by the way is just an amazing amount of people on this call. Like I'm very honored to even be sitting here. But just
Same.
I am just dumbfounded by just this service work that is done, the charity raising, like the amount of money that is just given to help other people. And regards to the drama question, I mean, there's always gonna be people jealous of your success. They'll be jealous of your vision. They're gonna be jealous of your passion, as Dr. Tai said before. And I think the drama is silly, personally. And I think it just distracts from the mission. And for me, the mission is like to help your fellow queers, to help your fellow people that need it, right? And that's just, I think it's just distracting of what's the real message. And so, yeah, there's always drama, but I'm still just blown away by the amount of good things that people do. So.
I can say that I love this community a very long time, and for many good reasons. And I have a leg because of the leather community. How could I not love them? So you're my family, you've been my family for years. So
it does feel like a family. It really does. Like
it is a family. We are a family. We argue, we disagree, but when it comes down to the hard line, we do come together.
Well, there we go. That was the perfect way to end the word together. Thank you, Judy. That was that was that's where we want to end here. So okay, so oh my God, this is going to be a big deal when we look at history in the past, y'all. But thank you all for being on the 100th episode.
Thank you.
I love all of y'all. I'm glad y'all had these conversations. I'm glad that you're participating in these things. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to be a part of this. It means a lot to me, and I hope that I continue to make you all proud. So I guess for the 100th time, I guess you have to close the show, y'all. So here we go. Are you all ready when I count to 3?
Okay.
Are you ready? All right.
Okay. I'm ready.
Here we go.
Together.
1, 2, 3.
You're not
throwing lies.
You're not throwing lies.
If you're throwing lies.
Did I do it wrong again? Oh,
we all did it wrong.
Together,
we did it wrong.
No, you did. No, you did it. You got it. No, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was good. That's a nice
practicing all week.
You were ready. You were ready. You said on time. All right. Well, y'all, thank y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for being
here. I will have this posted soon. See y'all later.
Take care.
Bye-bye now.